In this video, we're going to show you to install the lower forward engine mount on your Ford 500 located underneath the exhaust manifold. Using our trim tool, we're going to release the retainer clip holding the O2 sensor in place. Remove the harness from this little retainer. Now we're going to separate this here, this little tab. We're going to press down on that and disconnect the sensor. Tuck that wire off to the side. And you can just let that wire drop down. We have our radiator hose running horizontal right here behind the fan. You use our trim tool. We're going to release the little retainer clamps here. And we have the fan connector right here. I'm going to use our trim tool. Pop that out. And on the top side, there is a little clip right here. We're going to press that down and disconnect the connector for the fans. Separate that harness. On the passenger side of our cooling fan, there is an 8mm bolt right here. Going to use our socket and 1/4-inch ratchet to get in there, and loosen and remove that. And once you have this one out, we're going to remove the one on the driver's side, same location. On the driver's side, the 8mm bolt is underneath the upper radiator hose. So if you locate that hose, go straight down. We're using our deep 8mm socket on this one here for clearance purposes. I'm going to lift up on the fans. It's going to take a little bit of persuasion here to get this up and out. Just pushing hoses around. And pull that up and out and set it aside. Now we want to get down to the nut on the top of the motor mount here. That's an 18mm. So we're going to put our box wrench on there. You want to be careful not to hit the radiator. And loosen that. I'm just going to continue to do this until we can get that nut removed from the mount. I'm going to remove our upper bolt here from this mount using a 15mm socket and ratchet. Go ahead and zip that out. Using a 15mm socket or gear wrench, loosen and remove this nut. Move that nut and go ahead and work that bolt out. On the bottom side here, right behind the cross member, you're going to find a 21mm nut that goes to the bottom side of that motor mount. So you got to loosen and remove that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a block of wood on our jack once this is lower to the ground. And we're going to put it right here on the front edge of the oil pan. And we're going to go ahead and jack up the motor. When we do this here, it's going to lift up the motor and we'll be able to go ahead and pull our motor mount out from the top side of the engine compartment. Now installing the new mount, you want to make sure that you put the shim here. That lines up, falls into place. Let's go ahead and lower this down. Now this pin here will be positioned just like this when it goes in. This goes into a hole in the aluminum mount on the top. When we're lowering down the engine, we need to make sure that this pin lines up. So we're going to slowly lower it down. Okay, the motor is completely lowered down onto the mount. Let's get to remove our jack. Go ahead and thread on the nut for the upper portion of the mount. I'm going to go ahead and turn that a tiny bit at a time. And once we're bottomed out, we want to make sure that's good and tight. Install the lower nut on the mount and tighten that down. Take your forward bolt, feed that into the mount, get that nut installed there. And let's go ahead and tighten that down. Now this mount has a metal crush sleeve in it. So what we're going to simply do is make sure this is nice and tight. Let's install the upper motor mount. Torque this upper mount bolt to 35 foot-pounds. Let's go ahead and lower our cooling fan down. All right, now once we get it down and horizontal, we now want to drop the lower portion of the fan into the retaining clips on the radiator. Okay, the fan is now rested in a position. Let's install our 2 bolts. On the passenger side, just push down the hose and go ahead and get that passenger side fan bolt installed. Now, we just want to get this started in there a bit. We're not going to tighten this down until we get the driver's side bolt in. Let's go ahead and do that now. All right, now that we have them both started, let's go ahead and snug them both down. And once that bolt snugs down, go ahead and repeat for the passenger side. Just snug that down. Doesn't have to be super tight. Press the clips in for your radiator hose. Connect your O2 sensor. Press that together, you can hear it click.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.